It is possible to travel in time and space through a wormhole or vortex that connects two points through a device called a stargate. It seems that Einstein's theory about the possibility of traveling from one point to another instantaneously through a wormhole has become a reality several years ago. The wormhole is formed when space-time is distorted by intense gravitational fields. The existence of stargates appears in the Stargate series. There are quite a few scenes based on reality, perhaps with the intention that when we see it in a movie, we believe that it is only science fiction, and when we hear about it we do not believe it, but there are too many testimonies both throughout history and in the present. Mars was reached as early as the late 60s thanks to teleportation and time travel technology, by means of stargates. And about this we find testimonies such as those of Arthur Newman, Robert Dean, Alfred Webre, Laura Eisenhower, Andrew Bayago, and some others. This knowledge about stargates was possessed by many ancient peoples. In Peru, a mysterious civilization before the Incas built the Gate of Hayu Marca, or Gate of the Gods, which was carved into a natural rock face. It measures exactly 7 meters high and 7 meters wide. It is located at one end of Lake Titicaca, in the wall of a ravine. Legend has it that an Inca priest was being chased by the Spaniards, and that he fled through the Stargate and simply disappeared from this plane of reality. In Tiwanaku, Bolivia, before the creation of the Inca Empire, an ancient people built the Stargate of the Sun, which is about 15 kilometers southeast of Lake Titicaca. These people believed that the gate allowed them to interact with the gods. We also found hieroglyphs in Egypt that seem to indicate that there are places on our planet where the gods could travel to another point in the universe. The lions of yesterday and tomorrow guard the sun, star, gate to heaven. Above the sun appears the green symbol representing the kingdom of heaven. The ancients thought that the sun was a stellar tunnel. In Genesis, 2 cherubim are said to guard the portal to the Garden of Eden. Today we call that portal Stargate. This is the red granite gateway to eternity at Habu Medinet, Luxor in Upper Egypt. On the left we can see Osiris stretched out on top of his wormhole or star boat of eternity. On the right we see a modern drawing of a wormhole, a transport system that communicates distant places and times. On the opposite wall of the Chapel of Osiris at Abydos is this engraving, the king sailing into eternity. This ship resembles the modern drawing of a wormhole, and in the center, a door can be seen. Sumerian texts and different representations indicate that the great gods had star portals capable of leading them to planets or remote places, covering great distances. The Sumerians were slaves who faithfully obeyed their gods, but they also recognized that the origin of the evil that dwelled within man came from his creators. According to the French author Anton Parks, southern Mesopotamia is full of stargates. Parks said that Babylon was the most important one. The term Babylon means the gate of God, or also the power of the heavens. In this area, the Anunnaki left artifacts and high-tech weaponry. Those in power know that in Iraq is all the Sumerian legacy, and it seems that there is still something that interests them of that territory, because there is a plot with the intention of destroying all the remains of the ancient Sumerians and the Anunnakis, perhaps to make disappear all evidence of extraterrestrial beings and the portals used by them. George Bush knew that there were hidden stargates in southern Iraq, and it is believed that this was the reason for the Gulf War, and that years later continues the large military deployment in that area. William Henry's hypothesis is that stargates and wormholes are at the center of the myths of all the world's religions and legends. William Henry, an independent archaeologist, theorizes that in Sumerian times, there was a technological device that he describes as a stargate used by the Anunnaki to enter and leave our planet. He focuses on scenes described on tablets in an Uruk ritual text, where Divine beings are described passing through a ring-shaped portal, through which Anu made a grand entrance, guarded by Enki and Enlil. The then President Saddam Hussein most likely knew the secrets of the Stargate Gate. There is a prophecy that the Stargate will one day open and the gods will return in their sunships. It is believed that Hitler would have located one of them in Antarctica in 1938 before the outbreak of World War II. He was obsessed with recovering technologically advanced devices left behind by civilizations in the distant past. The Iraqi Stargate theory places it under the ancient Sumerian city of Ur, where the largest Sumerian temple, the Great Ziggurat, was located, which received 400 missile impacts after the Gulf War, a truly curious fact. In 1980, Saddam Hussein ordered the restoration of the Great Ziggurat, turning the temple into a fortress. There he created a base for the Air Force. U.S. troops remained there for more than a decade after Hussein was overthrown. Some think that is how long it took to dismantle the Stargate and bring it to the United States. Austrian Dr. Michael Yves Sala, author of more than 70 articles, chapters and book reviews on peace, wrote in an article that Saddam Hussein was being assisted by teams of Russian, German and French archaeologists in an attempt to uncover the secrets of this engineering, and that the Iraqi Stargate is currently stored at Area 51 in Nevada. French author Anton Parks says that Mesopotamia is riddled with stargates, and that there are a total of 25 energy vortexes. It was no accident that the ancient gods chose that location. Dr. Dan Burish was born in California in 1964, studied microbiology and psychology at the University of Las Vegas, Nevada, and worked at Area 51. He has knowledge of Stargate technology and claimed in an interview that there was a Stargate in Iraq. According to the doctor, how to make them was found on Sumerian tablets. According to him, there were more than 50 man-made ones scattered all over the world. The tablets were found from the Baghdad Museum. Burish says that the information for the development of artificial star portals came from the cylinder seals extracted from Iraq, both from the First and Second Gulf War military intervention by the US and its allies. The cylindrical seals contained extraterrestrial information that was given to the ancient Sumerians. Dr. Dan Burish's information supports the theory that the US military intervention in Iraq was motivated by the desire to control the star portals. Bill Cooper, born in 1943 and died in 2001, said to have been murdered for telling the truth, was an American shortwave radio broadcaster and writer. He alluded to this Stargate technology on a few occasions, saying that we would soon travel by teleportation, the same as we call by telephone. In 2010, a portal or Stargate was opened in Yemen, south of the Arabian Peninsula in the Gulf of Aden. There are magnetic irregularities in the sea, something like a big whirlpool, where there are also testimonies of many UFO sightings. Hundreds of scientists from the great world powers studied the phenomenon because it violated all the laws of physics. In addition, a large number of military personnel, both friends and enemies, from the United States, Germany, Australia, Japan, Iran, Russia, China, Switzerland, India, and even the United Kingdom gathered there. The curious thing is that the great powers said it was to control the Somali pirates, and that even Al-Qaeda had created a new base in Yemen. Who can believe that all the militaries of the world, with a large arsenal of weapons, have gathered there just for a handful of Somali pirates, who, according to the statements of those kidnapped, were between 18 and 20 years old? It is evident that everything was prepared to keep the curious away from the area. Aaron McCullum, U.S. military, former Coast Guard and member of the third generation of the Talent Project, assured that a stellar portal was opened in the Yemen Sea, which made all the armies of the most powerful countries nervous, since extraterrestrial entities were entering through it. They knew that the portal was not generated naturally, but by alien entities, and they did not yet know its purpose. McCullum has participated in multiple military operations around the world, which has allowed him to learn several secrets, among them that the war in Afghanistan was not because of the 9/11 attacks, but because the US wanted to take over a series of entrances to subway cities that are allegedly in that territory. He also says that all the bases under the sea and some lakes are inhabited by ET's enemies of humanity, and that the elite that governs the world is not in charge, but that they are sent by the extraterrestrials. If we talk about stargates, we cannot fail to mention those that are natural, such as the Bermuda Triangle and the Dragon Triangle. And, according to Nassim Haramein's theory, there are portals and volcanoes, and, indeed, some of them have a great UFO activity. But perhaps, his most striking theory is the existence of portals in the sun. He says that sunspots are black holes capable of transporting ships as big as our planet. Day after day, more and more people are exposing to the world the truth that is intentionally hidden from us. Military, astronauts, scientists, government agents, all of them are showing us the reality that we are completely unaware of, and that far exceeds anything we can imagine. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. I wonder if we would be able to assimilate all the information that is hidden from us, or would we simply refuse to believe it?